Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CCRL Pro Tier Round 5 around Jeddah here in Saudi Arabia. They will be taking on the 27-corner 6.174 kilometer circuit, and it has 3 DRS zones. I am looking forward to this high-speed street circuit of some close action, great battles all across the board, and it's going to be an interesting one for us all tonight here in CCRL. I am the Johnny Damon. I will be doing your commentary tonight. Going over the point standings, we have Feeney at the top of the standings. He has extended his points gap at 123. Silos in second with 104. Komakopa in third with 94. I'll be the GOAT with 89 and fourth. Raptor KK rounds out the top 5 with 72 points. Mr. Miller in sixth with 70 points. Osmanian Devil has 66 in seventh. Bonget in eighth with 64 points. Peak Hour with 40 points in ninth. Like Me or Not in 10th with 37. 34 points for SP in 11th. The Boonster in 12th with 34 points as well. Cello in 13th with 29, LK in 14th with 29, and IRZ tied in 15th with 29 points as well. You got Matthew in 16th with 27, Natural with 24 in 17th, Abdul in 18th with 17, GC Adventure with 10 in 19th, and TMM Racing at the bottom with 9 points. Moving on to the constructors standings, we do have Haas at the top with 163 points, Mercedes with 133 in second, McLaren in third with 130 points, Aston Martin with 123, Red Bull in fifth with 106, Alpine in sixth with 94, Red Bull the Visa Cash App Red Bull team in seventh with 82. The Kick Sauber in 8th with 71 points. Then you got the Williams in 9th with 61 and Ferrari in 10th with 38 points. So we are getting into qualifying for the time being. It looks like a dry qualifying. Dry qualifying here. And it will be, let's see who's going to be the first one out onto the circuit. My guess will be the McLaren of Osmanian Devil. Usually always the first one out on the circuit here in qualifying to get his first lap down. So we will stick with him for the time being and see if my prediction is correct. We have 19 drivers on the grid with VPR Chef in the Mercedes as a reserve driver as well, and my prediction is incorrect. We got a Red Bull being the first one out on the grid tonight, and that is it a Red Bull? Let's see. A lot of drivers actually coming out of the pit right now. Yes, LB the Go is the first one out onto the circuit, getting these tires up to temperature, making his way through the very tricky sector of Sector 1 of the S turns here. Usually tends to be flat out until you get ready to take the last right-hander before the left-hander down this straight to come across the Sector 1 split. Yeah, I'll be out. As he's making his way around the hairpin of turn 13 and then into a nice fast chicane here of turn 16 and 17, and then down this DRS straight leading into turn 21 and 22 and 23. And then the last DRS zone is going to be right in front of him off the exit of turn 24, making his way down through the DRS zone, heading toward 27 here, the final hairpin before the front stretch of the start-finish line. He's got his hot lap on, going to open up that DRS flap in about 100 meters. He's got it wide open, making his way down into turn 1. well over 190 miles an hour. We topped out at 204 miles an hour into the braking zone of turn 1 as he's making his way off the exit of turn 3. Heading into turn 4 we go. He's keeping it relatively very tight here on the apexes, making his way through the S's, and we will see where he comes across the sector 1 split. He's making his way now towards the hairpin, a 33.4 through sector 1 into turn 13 we go. Off the exit, lets the speed carry that car towards the outside wall, keeps it nice and tight all the way through into the apex of turn 16 and 17. Now down the second DRS straight, or you can call it the first DRS straight, as we're making our way. How we doing tonight, Tyler? Through sector 2 split, 108 or 102.8 through sector 2. Off the exit of 24, opens up that DRS flap, making a run down towards turn 27. Gonna get on the brakes around the 100-meter board all the way down into third gear. Tucks it down to the apex. And now he's gonna swing the car, keep it as close as he can towards the pit lane wall, and comes across the line with a provisional pole of a 131, immediately topped by SP with a 129.9. Jump on board with an Aston Martin here as they're making their way towards the line. This is going to be IRZ. He's going to come across the line, and he's up into a 131.6. The next, we got quite a bit of traffic here off the exit. Big toes from everybody as they all come across the line. And it looks like Celos, Raptor, and Osmanian Devil have all come across the line there. And jump on nets on board is the Natural, making his way off the exit of turn 27. He's going to burn the rest of his battery. Opens up the DRS, tucks it down by the inside wall, and he's up into the P5 position with a 130.8. On board with VPR Ship as he's making his way towards the line as well, and he's going to come across with a 137.0, so a little bit of time he needs to find regards to pace-wise. On board with GC Adventure seems to be making a mistake in turn 27, so he will continue on with his day across the line, and he's going to be at a 143 down in the P14 position. Mr. Miller making his way off the exit of 27. He's getting ready to start his first flying lap here in the qualifying session. Got that DRS wide open, making his run all the way down into turn 1. Brakes at about 100 meters all the way down into third gear. And carrying his speed off the exit of 2. He gets a little bit of an oversteer through the turn 3. Now through turn 4. He keeps it nice and close on the apex of turn 5. And through the S's we go of sector 1, very tricky sector 1. And now he's making his way towards turn 13 here. Comes across the sector 1 split, looking pretty promising with a 33 flat. Into turn 13 we go. Off the hairpin, and now he's going to carry as much momentum as he can. All the way into turn 16 and 17. Very fast chicane, a little bit more oversteer, gives the wall a little bit of a kiss, and now he's going to carry that speed through the sector 2 DRS zone. He's got that DRS flap wide open, carrying as much as he can down into 5th gear into turn 2. Off the exit of turn 22, off the exit of turn 24, got that DRS wide open, some traffic right in front of him. He's going to try and keep it. Oh! Very unfortunate. GC Adventure was not paying attention to his rear view mirrors and has taken out a contender here. Oh boy, that's not going to be good. The stewards will definitely be looking at that one. And we are on board with Like Me or Not coming through sector 1. Very unfortunate for that Alpine team. Definitely will be starting from the back of the grid here at Saudi Arabia. Stewards will be definitely taking a look at that one. and there will be a penalty applied. Off the exit of turn 13 we go with Like Me or Not. He's going to keep it nice and close to the inside as he's carrying his speed into turn 16 we go. Really nice entrance into turn 16. Off the exit of 17, he's going to open up the DRS flap. He comes through sector 2 and across the sector 2 split. And he's got a purple sector 2 at a 102.2 through turn 23 and 24. Now making his way around turn 25. He's going to keep it, let the car go to the middle of the track and into the braking zone of turn 27 at 100-meter markers all the way down into third gear. Back on the throttle off the apex. He's going to run towards the start-finish line. Opens up that DRS flap. He's all out of battery usage and comes across in that P2 position with a 130.1. Jump on board with Feeney here. Purple sector 2, making his way through turn 24 now. Off the exit we go. Got the DRS flap wide open through 25, heading towards the final corner here. And he's going to be braking at about 100 meters all the way down into fourth gear. Off the exit we go. He got that throttle on super early. 100 meters until the DRS is wide open, making his run towards the start-finish line. And he's up into the P2 position with a 130.133. So pretty close midfield here between everybody. Let's see if we got anybody on a lap as Osmanian Devil through sector 2. He is 3.5 tenths up on his time. Purple sector 2 making a run down turn 26 now into the braking zone of 27 we go. He's going to brake all the way down into third gear. About 70 miles an hour at the apex. Opens up the DRS flap in about 100 meters. Keeps it as close as he can to the pit lane wall. Across the line we go and up into the P2 position. He gained 3.5 tenths and he's still less than a tenth behind SP, so pretty close top 4, all within nearly 13 hundredths of a second from each other, so pretty close up there at the front of the grid. De Boonster's not too far behind from his teammate in the Kick Sauber. As we're riding on board with LB the Goat, once again making his way through Sector 1 into Sector 2 we go, off the exit of turn 16 and 17. He's rolling that car all the way through Sector 2, getting ready to open up the DRS flap to see if he can make a run down into turn 22. Got that DRS wide open into the braking zone. We go all the way into 5th gear. Purple sector 2. I did not see if he was up on his time, but he must be. Through turn 25. And now he's got this little straight here, carrying as much speed as he can all the way down into the braking zone of turn 27, down into 3rd gear. 75 miles per hour on the apex there. He's going to open up the DRS flap. Keep it as close as he can to the pit lane wall. Comes across the start finish line in a new provisional pole with a 129.819. Jump on board with another driver coming down towards the line. We have an invalidation from Abdul. Back up to the top. Feeney's going to dive into the pit lane. Osmanian Devil's looking to go into pit lane as well. Like me or not, is carrying his speed. De Boonster unfortunately has crashed out of qualifying, I'm assuming, in that P6 position. But off the exit of turn 27 we go with Like Me or Not. He's going to carry the speed. Opens up the DRS flap. Keeps it by the pit lane wall. And he comes across with a new provisional pole of a 129.7. So the track is definitely evolving right now. It's getting faster over the time. Comacopa down through turn 22. In through 23. Rides that inside curb. Keeps the car under control. He's got the DRS flap wide open. Making his way down the last little straight here before the final hairpin of turn 27. Into the braking zone we go. All the way down into 3rd gear. Back on the throttle at the apex. Gonna open up this DRS flap one more time and come across the start finish line. And he puts himself in the P3 position with a 129.9. So qualifying times are getting faster. Drivers are getting quicker here. IRZ in the Aston Martin does not appear to be on a lap. Raptor has invalidated as well. on board with Abdul here as he's making his way through Sector 1. Gonna carry as much speed as he can off the exit of Sector 1 here through turn 12. Now down this little straight. Is he improving? He's up nearly a tenth and a half going into the braking zone of the hairpin here of turn 13. Off the exit, he's going to keep it as close as he can to the inside wall. Into turns 16 and 17. Down into 5th gear, lets the car slide all the way through. Nearly hits the outside wall there off the exit of 17. DRS flap wide open in Sector 2, across the Sector 2 split. 2.5 tenths up on his time through 22 and 23 we go. One more straight here, and then we're going to come into the final braking zone. He's got that DRS wide open, heading towards turn 27. Gonna brake out about 100 meters all the way down into 3rd gear. Off the apex, nearly 80 miles per hour at the apex there of turn 27. And he's making his run towards the line. Is he gonna jump up? And he does improve and gets himself into that P14 position. Stayed exactly where he was. Not enough to get up the grid. BPR Chef looks like he's going to be coming out of pit lane. Cole Makofa dives into pit lane. Osmanian Devil off the final corner. He's going to tuck behind his teammate. Opens up the DRS. Burning that ERS. Comes across the line. Making his run towards turn 1. Here we go. Into the braking zone we are. All the way down into 2nd gear. A little bit of a lockup. Caused him to slide a little deep. Some traffic right in front of him here as we're making our way towards turn 4 of the chicane, starting Sector 1. Running through Sector 1 now. He's got the Visa Cash App Red Bull right in front of him. Not exactly sure who that may be as we're coming off the exit. And the Visa Cash App Red Bull's tucked to the inside, lets him through. Cross Sector 1 split. He's not improving on his time at the time being into turn 13. Off the exit we go through Sector 2, heading towards the chicane of 16 and 17. Right on board with him. Down into 4th gear off the exit of 17. He's going to keep it off the outside wall, making a run down this long straight. I mean, you can call it a straight, you can call it a little bit of a zigzag if you want, but he's coming across Sector 2 split. Is he finding any time here? He's still not finding enough time to improve on his time. He does have a purple Sector 2. Now running through Sector 3 we go, heading towards the final corner of turn 27. He's going to get heavy on the brakes at about 100 meters, all the way down into 3rd gear. 2nd gear down to 68 miles an hour off the apex there. He's going to open up the DRS flat, keep it towards the inside pit lane wall, and he's going to come across, not able to improve on his time. We've got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and that will be the end of qualifying here. Raptor KK beginning his final run here in the qualifying session as he's making a run through turns 1 and 2. Now he's going to carry that speed into turn 4. He's got the double McLarens right in front of him of Osmanian Devil and of Bongit as well. Bongit sitting in that P9 position on an outlap. As we're making our way through Sector 1, he's going to try and get through this traffic here into the hairpin on the backside of the circuit. He's 5 thousandths of a second down from his time. Into the hairpin we go. Off the exit, the McLaren slides out of his way. Now he's going to make his run towards turn 16 and 17 here. We got some traffic right in front of him of the other McLaren. And he goes around off the exit of turn 17. Very unfortunate for Raptor. That will call it his qualifying session for the time being. Natural, their current pole sitter, off the exit, and it looks like he is your new pole sitter here with a 129.6. Like me or not, making his run through Sector 1. Is he going to be able to gain enough time in just Sector 1 alone to contend for the pole position? Comes across, he is a 10th up on his time, so if he can keep the momentum going, he's looking at a new pole time here off the exit of turn 13. Making our run towards the hairpin of 16 and 17, down into 5th gear. Off the exit of 17 we go through Sector 2 split. Making our run towards the final chicane on the circuit of turn 22 and 23. Is he gaining? He is 4/10 up on his time into the final chicane. As we're now making our way off the exit of 24, Feeney with the fastest lap of a 29.5. Like me or not, is so far in contention to set the new pole as he's making his run into the final hairpin here. Off the exit of 27, he's getting ready to open up that DRS flap in about 100 meters. Keeps it as close as he can by the pit lane wall, and he's going to come across and set a new provisional pole at a 129.2. So Feeney had it, and then, like me or not, took it away. On board with Natural. He's currently not on a lap here, but LB the GOAT is a 10th up on his time. Comacopa comes across, and he jumps into that P4 position. SP down into the final hairpin, looking to come off the exit. 100 meters to open up that DRS. He's going to burn the rest of the battery, keeps it as close as he can to the pit lane wall, and he jumps up into that P3 position. LB the GOAT still making his way through Sector 3. Osmanian Devils now coming towards the start-finish line here. He's going to keep it as close as he can. Comes across the line, and he jumps into that P7 position. Bong it off the exit as well. And now he's going to make a run and dive into pit lane on board with LK here as he's making his way through Sector 1. Or through Sector 2 now, and through the long straight here. The DRS flap is wide open. Is he gaining? He is not gaining on his time as he's making his way through turn 24 and 25. One more straight here into the final braking zone of turn 27. All the way down into the braking zone at about 100 meters. Into fourth gear, he's going to keep that speed well over 70 miles an hour. He gets a little bit of a wheel spin off the exit. He's going to try and tuck it to the inside wall and comes across the line. Nearly improves a half a second and up stays in that P15 position. So there you have it, folks. That is your grid here in the qualifying session. So there you have it. Your grid is set, like me or not. At the top, LB the GOAT in P2. Feeney in third. SP in fourth. Natural in fifth. Comacopa sixth. Osmanian Devil seventh. Eighth is Chilos. Bongit in ninth. And Daboonsta will round out your top 10. Peak Hour, IOZ, Raptor, KK, Abdul, and LK will be down to P15. TMM Racing, VPR Chef, GC Adventure, and Mr. Milla will round out your grid here at Saudi Arabia. Gonna give these folks a few minutes here to get their race strategy Everybody is currently getting their tire strategies set up, their fuel into play, and any minor adjustments they can make on their setup with Park Ferme here at Saudi Arabia. It's going to be an interesting one. I look forward to seeing what these guys will bring on, as Qatar last week was a absolute pleasure to commentate. A lot of battles all throughout the race. Everybody kept it clean, and the action was just non-stop. We're here in for another great race tonight in Jeddah, and I am hoping that these guys will put on a spectacle. It's gonna be fun to be here and commentate for this one. Alright, we have gotten the 30-second time limit countdown from the lobby host, so we will be getting started shortly. Need one final drink here before I start calling on the starting grid. I believe, if I remember correctly, we are sticking with the formation lap. Not exactly sure, but should be allow everybody to get those tires up to temperature, and then we will get going. Alright, so no formation lap. So we got 3, 4, 5 red lights, and the lights are out, and away we go. And it looks like the Kickstart Sauber had a struggle off the line down into turn 1. The Red Bull down to the inside. And it looks like the Sauber is going to come out on top. Some action. Feeney battling side by side with LB to go, as we're now making our way into turn 4. And they both make it through. Feeney off the circuit a little bit. And Silos is going to be battling side by side with Osmanian Devil here, the Mercedes. And it looks like we've got a virtual safety car. And not exactly sure who that is at the back of the grid. And it looks like it might have been GC Adventure struggling there. Silos is working on trying to get the grid sorted out between him and Osmanian Devil. It looks like Osmanian Devil's got that. Peak hour, everybody's got to get here, and green flag back out really fast. Virtual safety car there, as it looks like we have a 4-car battle here up in the front. Already between Like Me or Not, Jay Feeney, LB the Goat, and the Natural have created an 8.3 second gap from the cars behind them. That was a super fast virtual safety car. Osmanian Devil in that P5 position. He now has a lot of work to do to catch up to the cars in front. Gonna pull up the tires real quick here. Everybody on mediums except for Feeney. IRZ and VPR Chef are all on a set of soft tires. Down into the braking zone of turn 27 we go, and it looks like Me or Not is gonna lead lap 1. The Boonster is trying to close up to the back of the back up to the front. Is Feeney going to try around the outside into turn 1? Gives them the inside of turn 2. Like Me or Not goes a little deep. Feeney gives them a wheel tap off the exit of turn 3 into the braking zone of turn 4. And they're going to continue to follow along with each other. Raptor KK is battling back here with Mr. Miller. Still side by side, Mr. Miller around the outside in that Alpine. started in P19, already up into P13 here. The Boonster on the rear diffuser of the Mercedes in front of him of Silos as we're carrying our speed through Sector 1 off the exit, heading through turn 12 now, in towards the braking zone of turn 13. DRS is going to be activated here off the exit of turn 17 we go. Feeney is going to get DRS to Like Me or Not in front of him as we're going to carry our speed all the way towards turn 22. Is Feeney going to go for the move? He's closed right up to the back of him. And now we're carrying that dirty air. Allowed Feeney to go a little wide there off the exit of 23. Heading towards the final corner. The Boonster closed right up to the back of Silos here. He's going to get DRS, but Feeney looking down potentially to the inside of Like Me or Not. He does not make that move. He does have the soft tires, trying to utilize all the grip possible in those soft tires here at the beginning stages. Opens up the DRS, jump to the outside, and now you got Feeney back in, or your new race leader here with LB the Goat was trying to make a move into that P3 position. Bongit, the Boonster, all going down to the inside of the Mercedes in front of him. Bongit's going to back out. The Boonster's going to jump in front for that P6 position. Comacopa's making his way around LK here in the Ferrari. Off the exit of turn 2 we go. Now going to try and carry our speed. See if he can hang on to the position into turn 4. He does, and it looks like LK goes a little wide. That allows Mr. Miller and Raptor KK to go through. Like Me or Not is going to try and hang on to the DRS of Feeney in front of him. But Feeney's on the soft tires. Like Me or Not on the mediums. LB the Goat right behind on the mediums as well. As we're making our way off the exit of turn 22, or of turn 17. 10-second penalty for SP, speeding into pit lane. He has unfortunately retired from the session. And now we're going through turn 22 and 23. Getting ready to open up the DRS is Like Me or Not. Still hanging on to the back of Feeney here as we're going into turn 27. Down into the braking zone. Still a 4-car train battling for the lead. Is the Boonster going to be looking to make a move? Yes, he is. Trying to make a move on Osmanian Devil into turn 27. Osmanian Devil's going to hang it around the outside and continue on with the lead, with that position of P5. Mr. Miller making his way around the Haas teammate of Feeney's of Peak Hour, and he's not able to complete that move yet. The Boonster down to the inside of turn 1, around the outside of turn 2. Some contact made between Boonster and Osmanian Devil. Now we got a 3-car train all the way down, 4-car train. Bongit is overtaking Silos into the braking zone, and some front wing damage for Bongit into turn 4. And that's going to be a pit lane stop for him. Osmanian Devil's leading this next little group of cars as he's now going to try and carry us into turn 13. And we're going through sector 2. DRS wide open. Is Like Me or Not going to be looking to make a move on Feeney here through into turn 22. And he was not able to, but the Boonster was able to get by Osmanian Devil for that P5 position. 11 seconds off the back of Natural in that P4. But you got Like Me or Not going around the outside of the Haas, and that's going to carry the Red Bull of LB the Goat as well. Is the Goat going to get the better run off the exit of 27? No, he will not, but he's going to go down to the inside of the Haas driver, and here comes Feeney. We're going to have a nearly 3-car 3 wide down into turn 1, but Feeney is going to continue to lead as well. Like Me or Not is going to slot right back behind in that P2 position. We have some more action going on here down the start-finish straight. And it looks like Osmanian Devil's going to dive into pit lane to change that front wing. Peak Hour down to the inside of Abdul into turn 1. And he moves up into that P8 position. TMM Racing is just chilling back here in the Ferrari in P14. Abdul looking down the inside of the Red Bull, Peak Hour was looking down to the inside of the Red Bull. We got a battle for the lead here Off the exit of 13 we go. We got Feeney and Like Me or Not side by side heading into turn 16. And it looks like the Kickstart Sauber is going to continue on. And he takes over the lead here on lap 5. Feeney following behind. That'll be the Goat Natural just chilling, watching the battling going on. Mr. Miller and Komakopa battling side by side through turn 13. Might have been a little bit of a wheel bang there. But Mr. Miller was able to jump inside the top 10 here after starting P19. Already working his way through the grid here at the beginning stages of the Grand Prix. Back up to the front, LB the Goat is down through the inside of Feeney here into the braking zone of turn 27. Is he going to get a good exit? Off the exit we go. DRS is going to open wide up for the Red Bull and the Haas. We're going to get a 3 wide down the start, finish straight. Yes, we do. Still side by side between the Red Bull, and it looks like a little bit of contact made there from the Kickstart Sauber. And it's going to be a battle for the lead between the Red Bull and the Haas. The Haas is going to hang it down to the inside of turn 4. Everybody giving each other enough space, and it looks like LB the Goat's going to come out on top here for the lead. Peak Hour and Komakopa battling through turn 1 and off the exit of turn 2 and 3. Looks like Komakopa is going to be into that P9 position here of the Aston Martins. We got both of them inside. And IRZ unfortunately has lost the car, and that's going to bring out the first safety car here at Saudi Arabia on lap 6. And it looks like Peak Hour lost the car in the middle of sector 1 and collided with the inside wall. There we got a safety car on lap 6. We do have some folks diving into pit lane, and it's going to be LB the Goat and Feeney. And it looks like Natural's going to follow along as well. Are we going to the hard tires here? Pull up the tires, and it looks like LB the Goat jumps onto a set of hard tires. Feeney into his bot, putting on the white walls as well. And Natural goes to the white wall tires of the hard tires as well. So we got a lot of movement happening here in the pit lane. Is Natural going to come out in front of these folks? Does he beat them out of pit lane? And it looks like Natural is really only going to miss one spot to the Haas in front of him. He's going to be down in that P6 position. Everybody else that has gone into pit lane has taken on a set of white wall tires. Osmanian Devil's going to come back in as well. BPR Chef will come into pit lane too. Let's see what tires these folks are going to put on. BPR Chef to a set of mediums. Osmanian Devil to a set of hard tires. And there you have it, folks. That is your pit stops here under the safety car. Just got to wait for the rest of the grid to catch up, and then we'll get back into the green flag action. Let's check out our biggest movers here so far. Like Me or Not, your leader. Silos up 6 positions, Raptor up 6, LK up 7, TMM up 7, Mr. Miller up 7 as well. Down 8 is Osmanian Devil, and unfortunately 2 DNFs here to start the Grand Prix between SP and IRZ. We're going to carry our speed, wow, we're making our way through Sector 1 here, under the safety car on lap 8. Potentially get back to green flag on lap 9, if not, it will be lap 10. Everybody on the hard tires are pretty much set towards the end of the Grand Prix. Not exactly sure how much the tire wear. It's very high degradation around here at Saudi Arabia due to the nature of how fast this circuit is. This is personally one of my favorite tracks to drive, as difficult as it can be sometimes, but I do enjoy riding around Jeddah. We have got word safety car will be in this time by, as we're making our way through Sector 3. Like me or not, going to back up the field here down the final straight into turn 27. And we will be looking to get green off the exit of 27. Just waiting on the safety car to go into pit lane. As you can see, the whole grid here on the left hand side making their way down into the final corner. And it looks like me or not, might want to get a potential jump, early jump off the exit of 27. Still warming up those tires. Silo's right behind him. And just waiting, and here we go. We are back under green flag. Across the start-finish line is like me or not to start lap 9. Down into turn 1. And we got a lap car pulling out of the way. That is going to be the Visa Cash App Red Bull of GC Adventure down into turn 1. And like me or not, has nearly 8.5 tenths of a second lead over Silos. And now Silo's sitting in that P2 position. The guys that have all pit behind him, LB the Goat, Feeney, and Natural, are going to be looking to make their way back inside the top 4 to have a 4-car battle once again. As we're making our run down into turn 13. No moves have been taking place, but the Boonster's looking down to the inside of the Ferrari. And it looks like the Boonster is going to jump up into that P9 position. Right behind him is now going to be the Ferrari. Mr. Miller is looking to put an attack on. Started down in P19, already up to P11. And he's going to go down to the inside of the Ferrari as well. Is he going to complete the move into turn 22? He actually completes it well before turn 22. Right behind him, Osmanian Devil is going to be making a move on peak hour through 22 and 23. Osmanian Devil back up into the 12th place position. LB the Goat did make a move on Silos. Silos dropping down. Feeney was able to get by as well. Komakopa is looking to put the pressure on Silos here for that P4 position as we're making a run towards turn 1. DRS is going to be enabled this time by. Down into turn 1, your top 5 all staying in line here. And it looks like the Haas wants to try and make a move down to the inside of Osmanian Devil in the McLaren. He's not able to get there, so they will hang on to position off the exit of turn 3, heading towards turn 4. Through the tricky sector 1, and it looks like we have a DNF from the Alpine of Mr. Miller, and that's very unfortunate for him. After starting at the back of the grid, got his way all the way up inside the top 10, no safety car. Heading through turn 13, like me or not, LB the Goat, Jay Feeney, all on a set of hard tires, or actually LB the Goat and Jay Feeney on a set of hard tires. Osmanian Devil does make it past TMM Racing, and it looks like the Haas of Peak Hour is going to be looking to make a move off the exit of turn 17. He's not going to get that run. Komakopa is making a move on Silos here for that P4 position. Natural just chilling here in the Alpine on the hard tires. He's trying to do a little bit of tire conserving, I believe, as we're carrying our speed through sector 3 down into turn 27 we go. Silos is now going to retake over that position, and it looks like there's going to be another collision here at the back of the grid, and it looks like the Ferrari of LK and the Boomster got together, and there we have it, another DNF here on lap 10, another safety car, and your leaders will stay out. Natural is going to stay out, like me or not, Dodge in the pit lane. Stelos, and like me or not, is going to put on a set of white wall tires. So we have another safety car here on lap 11. Everybody else that did not pit the first safety car is all dived into pit lane on the second safety car. So we got fresh tires across the grid here, and we're going to continue on our way. VPR Chef up into that P6 position in the Mercedes, so looking pretty promising so far here as a reserve. Fairly new to the game, been putting in a lot of practice. It's going to show now. Into turn 1 on lap 12. We will be starting back up on lap 13, so we will already be halfway through the Grand Prix here when we get going again. Like me or not, all the way down in the P7 position. He was battling and contending with the top 3. Was leading the Grand Prix and fighting with Feeney. He's going to be on 4-lap fresher tires, so it might benefit him better towards the end of the Grand Prix when we get into the closing stages. So we will find out from him when it comes to that point, as long as we stay green from here on out. safety car will be in this lap off the exit of 25. And you have LB to go backing up the field here. Feeney right behind him, Natural in third, Bonga in fourth, Abdul in fifth, VPR Chef in sixth, Like Me or Not seventh, Silos eighth, Raptor ninth, Comacopa 10th, Osmanian Devil 11th, TMM 12th, Peak Hour 13th, The Boonster 14th, and GC Adventure in 15th, a lap down. Off the exit of the final corner, and LB the GOAT has taken off super early, catching everybody sleeping. And Natural is 1.3 seconds off the back of Feeney here. So LB the GOAT got a great jump on the restart, catching everybody sleeping. Bong, it was breaking out of the slipstream there into turn one. Oops. As we're now making our way into the S's of Sector 1. VPR Chef is still in that P6 position, hanging on and fighting the kickstart Sauber here as we're making our way through the S's of Sector 1. And now he's going to make his way off the exit of turn 10, 11, and 12. And here comes Like Me or Not down to the inside. Silos right behind him as well, down through the inside into turn 13. Chef is going to try and hang it around the outside. Silos does get by. Raptor also gets by him as well. Comacopa is going to trail right behind it in that P10 position. The Boonster battling side by side with Peak Hour off the exit of 13 into the braking zone of turn 16. And it looks like the Boonster is going to jump ahead there. Natural's falling out 2.5 seconds off the back of Feeney. Feeney's now barely hanging on to LB the GOAT from the start. And it looks like Comacopa gets by BPR Chef as well inside the top 10. And Feeney is going to be battling with LB the GOAT. DRS will be reactivated this time by Osmanian Devil. Completes his move as well inside the top 10. BPR Chef is falling back, just hanging on to the back of these guys, trying to learn as much as he can. Bonga is working side by side with Natural down into turn 1. And it looks like Bonga is going to jump up into that P3 position. Natural sitting in P4. If you guys play the DRS train properly, they can swap each and every lap, and they might be able to close up to the back of the GOAT and Feeney, your two race leaders. Like Me or Not hanging out in that P6 position, 3.2 seconds back, with Silos right behind him, nearly within DRS. He's about 9/10 back. Raptor KK off the exit of 12. It's got Comacopa and Osmanian Devil breathing down his neck into turn 13. And it looks like they're going to keep the train going. The Boonster is going to make his way around BPR Chef as well. And here comes Peak Hour off the exit. And Peak Hour is going to complete the move into turn 16. So it looks like BPR Chef. Abdul is going to use the DRS to his advantage and complete the move on Natural there into turn 22. Bong it up into P3, nearly 3 seconds back. He's trying to close up the gap as much as possible, but Natural is going to get the DRS. Is he going to be looking to make a move down into turn 27? He does not. Comacopa sitting in P8. He works his way around the outside of Raptor KK. And we got a battle between your two leaders. Feeney has now taken over the lead of the Grand Prix with about 11 laps to go down into turn 1. You got the Haas and the Red Bull battling it out. Bong is still trying to close up. He's nearly almost 4 seconds back. And Peak Hour makes his way around to Boonster, but we are still side by side between the two. Not enough room in turn 2 from Peak Hour to give to Boonster. But it looks like they both come out unscathed. And what happened here with Osmanian Devil? Not exactly sure. Osmanian Devil has lost the car off the exit of turn 5. And it looks like he may have clipped that inside wall of turn 4. And unfortunately has DNF here in Jeddah. Virtual safety car out once again. That's going to give us 5 DNFs here With about 11 laps to go, your two leaders are battling it out between LB the Goat and Jay Feeney, trying to keep it within the Delta time. LB the Goat is falling off nearly a second, but now he finally put the pedal to the metal, trying to catch back up. Just waiting to get the okay to go back to green flag. 10 laps to go now. Feeney is currently leading. LB the Goat in that P2 position under this virtual safety car. Bongit sitting in top 5, and we are back under green. Feeney barely keeping it within Delta. That allows LB the Goat with a nice little jump here as we're making our way down through turn 4. The booster's going to complete the move into turn 1 on peak hour, around the outside of turn 2. Peak hour wants to fight that as much as possible, but the booster comes out on top there. Abdul sitting in the P4 position, riding the DRS of Bongit in front. We do have DRS reactivated since it was just a virtual safety car. Peak hour and the booster through the tricky sector 1 off the exit, goes a little wide. 3-second time penalty from peak hour. LB the Goat is going to get the DRS on Jay Feeney off the exit of turn 17 through turn 18. It opens up the DRS flap, and now he's going to close up to the back of him going into turn 22. Into the braking zone we go, making our way through 23 and 24. We got this nice little straight, another DRS straight right here. Still a nice battle between your two leaders. Bongit fighting with Abdul still into turn 27. LB the Goat is closed right up to the back of Jay Feeney. A nice run off the exit of turn 27. He's going to get the DRS. Is he going to be looking to make a move down into turn 1? And he breaks himself out of the toe and continues to follow along. Peak hour through the inside of the booster into turn 27, and it looks like he's going to overtake him there for that position. Everybody else continuing to follow along. The booster battling side by side still with peak hour. Down into turn 1 braking zone we go, and it looks like the booster is going to get back inside the top 10. And like me or not, what happened to him? And it looks like he lost his car through the inside as well. And we're not going to get a safety car or a virtual safety car. Natural gets a 3-second time penalty. So you lose a leader here on lap 17 who had great contention to battle for a win earlier in the Grand Prix, and unfortunately lost it in between turn 4 and 5. LB the Goat sitting in that P2 position, riding the DRS of Feeney once again down into the braking zone of turn 22. And it looks like LB the Goat is going to continue to follow along off the exit of 24. He gives the wall a bump on the inside. That does cost him a little bit of time, but not enough because he has the DRS to Feeney. And to the braking zone of 27 we go. Down back here we got Natural through the inside of Abdul. And it looks like Natural is going to jump up inside the top 4. And on the way they go, continuing throughout. LB the Goat closes up to the back of Feeney before turn 1, but not close enough to make a move. Bongit has really starting to actually catch him. Komakopa's going to make his way around Silos. The Boonster's going to make his way around Raptor KK, and the Boonster actually sets the fastest lap as well. Bongit 1.7 seconds as we're making our way through Sector 1. This is going to show the tire difference is actually starting to contribute here, as now Bongit is chasing down the leaders. He's 1.6 seconds back, so we might have a 3-car battle going through the turn 13 off the exit, and Bongit is still catching them. So it's actually going to come down towards the end of the Grand Prix here. Potential 3-car battle for the win. And you got Abdul right in the back of Alpine, the Natural here off the exit of turn 17. He's going to get the DRS going down into turn 22, but it looks like Bongit is still closing up to the back of these two leaders in front of him. Sitting in that P3 position, he was nearly 4 seconds back, and he closed up to a 1.5 seconds within the last few laps. LB the GOAT, is he going to look for a move? No, he is not. He's going to continue to follow behind on Feeney. But here comes Bongit though. Bongit's got nearly 50% battery. Feeney's almost at 100. Or Feeney's at about 80. And LB the GOAT is at about 100. LB GOAT going to peek down to the inside, break off a slipstream. Bongit is still trying to put on the pressure to overtake. Komakopa gets by Silos as we're making a run into turn 1. And Komakopa moves into that P6 position. Raptor KK, Peak Hour battling side by side through turn 1. Peak Hour around the outside of turn 2. And he's going to jump up into P9. Bongit nearly a second back. He's closing up to the back of him. Is he going to get within a second here off the exit of turn 13? Only time will tell. Into 13 we go. Bongit is flying right now here in the second half of the Grand Prix. In that P3 position, he's now going to get the DRS here off the exit of 17 if he can keep it all under control. Yes, he does. And we have a 3-car racehorse for the lead here on lap 19 between Feeney, LB the GOAT, and Bongit. Into turn 22. The top 3 leaders are all still within DRS of each other. Silos around the outside of Komakopa into 22. And it looks like Silos is going to jump into that P6 position. Komakopa is going to get the DRS, I believe. Yes, he is. And he's going to be looking to make a move around the outside of Silos. Indeed, he does very much so. Down into turn 27. Feeney has now been overtaken by LB the GOAT. But Bongit is now getting himself into the picture. Bongit with a fastest lap of a 131.8. Little deep into the braking zone here. But now off the exit we go of turn 3. Into the braking zone of turn 4. And Abdul is going to continue to battle side by side with Natural and Abdul into that P4 position. Komakopa and Silos still fighting for P6 and P7 here. Aston Martin versus the Mercedes. Feeney nearly missing out, almost 8/10 back from LB the GOAT. But Bongit is now going to continue to follow along and try and conserve some battery, which he has done so. And he's in that P3 position at 100% battery life. And it looks like Feeney's lost the DRS potentially. Is he going to get it here as he's making his run towards turn 22? Comes across. Yes, he does. He has that DRS. Bongit's still following behind, 7/10 back. Into turn 22 we go. Off the exit, Bongit goes a little deep there through 23. He's going to get the DRS once again here to Feeney and LB the GOAT. Feeney is closing right up to the back of your leader around the outside into turn 27. Side by side for your 2 race leaders off the exit, still side by side. And this allows Bongit to close right up to the back of them as well. And neither one of your leaders have the DRS. And here comes Bongit using all that top speed down the straight, down into the braking zone of turn 1. Nearly gets into the back of LB the GOAT. Had a little bit of a lock up there. Still a great battle between your 3 leaders. Komakopa is going to hang on to that P6 position once again from Silos there into turn 1. Natural fighting hard with Abdul right behind him. Still on board. We got nearly 4.5 laps to go here. Heading towards Bongit with a 3-second penalty. That's going to really hinder his final finishing position here at the end of the Grand Prix. Off the up to the turn 13. So really we got a 2-car battle for the lead. Bongit gonna continue. DeBoonster. Oh no, DeBoonster has lost it off of 13. Oh, that's very unfortunate. And a 10-second penalty for Bongit with a severe collision to LB the GOAT. Not exactly sure what happened there. Very, very unfortunate here. We're going to have about a 2 laps to go when we get back to green flag here. Bongit does have front wing damage. He is going to dive into pit lane to fix that front wing. Probably going to go to a set of soft tires as well. Comacopa fakes the entrance to pit lane and decides to stay out. So on lap 22 of 25, we are back under the safety car. Once again, DeBoonster lost his car in Sector 1. Two Red Bulls inside the top 5, so pretty good points haul for the Red Bulls. Safety car will be coming back in this time. So we will have about 2 laps to go here under green flag. DRS activated on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Feeney, your current leader, sitting up at the top. That'll be the GOAT right behind him without time penalties. Natural in that P3 position. Let's see if Comacopa is on a set of fresh tires. No, he's not. He's on a set of 12-lap-old soft. So those softs are definitely screaming at this point. Abdul up 10 positions, so a great race from him. Off the exit of the final corner we go. Jay Feeney is already back under, and oh, we had a big spin from Natural off the exit of the final corner, and that's going to be huge for him. Abdul puts himself in a podium position, so doesn't Comacopa based on time penalty. But down into turn 1 we go, off the exit of turn 2. And we still have a battle between your two race leaders. Comacopa's got to hang on with those 12-lap old soft tires for 2 more laps. Bongit is going to work his way by TMM Racing here. And into turn 4, and it looks like Bongit into that P8 position. LB the Goat and Jay Feeney fighting up at the front. LB the Goat nearly a half a second off the back. Feeney is not really burning much. Now he is, but LB the Goat got the slipstream down into turn 13. Doesn't have to burn any battery to keep within a half a second. Off the exit of 13, Feeney and the Goat battling for the lead and the victory here at Jeddah. And through turns 16 and 17, Silos is going to complete the move on peak hour. He is on a set of fresh soft tires. Got Comacopa in his sights now. Comacopa closed right up to the back of Abdul here for that P3 position. Is Comacopa going to make a move into turn 22? No, he is not. Back up to the front, your two race leaders have a big enough gap. No battle going on there. Silos is closed up to the back of Comacopa. Peak Hour, Raptor KK, and Bongit all battling back here. Raptor KK gets by Peak Hour. Bongit's going to go around the outside as well down into turn 27. And it looks like Bongit goes really deep. He's going to try and drip it around turn 27. Abdul, Comacopa's going to make it by Abdul. Here comes Silos though. Silos down to the inside. Heading towards the braking zone of turn 1. Is Silos going to overtake into that P4 position? No, he's not, but he's going to go for a little bit of a switchback off the exit of 3. And Silos up into that P4 position. He's going to have the DRS on Comacopa. Raptor KK around the outside of Peak Hour, and Raptor KK is going to take over as well. So we're going to have a battle for the win and a battle for the final podium position as we're making our way down into turn 13 we go. Feeney's going to defend the inside line. LB the Goat is going to close right up to the rear diffuser. Off the exit we go. Heading through in toward turn 16 and 17, a battle between your two race leaders. And it looks like Feeney and the Goat are still battling. Silos is all over that rear diffuser of Comacopa as well. He is going to get the DRS on him. We're going to stick with our two race leaders here. Feeney does not have nearly enough battery to potentially defend off the Goat here off the exit of turn 24, making our way through 25. The Goat's going to burn the rest of the battery, go around the outside of Jay Feeney into the braking zone of turn 27. It's all a matter of his run off this exit. Silos is going to overtake down the inside of Comacopa. Comacopa is going to try and hang on to the outside. And LB the Goat is going to come across the line for the victory here. And it looks like Silos was able to overtake Comacopa for P3. And we still had some more battles going on across the line. And it looks like Raptor's going to come home inside the top 5. Bongit in P6, Peak Hour in 7th, Abdul in 8th, TMM in 9th. 10th, the top 10 finish for VPR Chef. In the Mercedes, the Natural's going to come home with no front wing here. Unfortunate restart for him. He spun off the exit and went around off the exit of turn 27 when we were getting back to green flag. So he's going to finish P11th. GC Adventure rounds out your finishers, and we will go through the final. There you have it, LB the Goat throwing some haymakers up on the podium with Jay Feeney and Silos. Rounds out your top 3, all celebrating here. The Red Bull team is definitely liking that victory and the massive points haul that they were able to bring in tonight. One more time through your finishing order. We got LB the Goat at top, Feeney in 2nd, Silos in 3rd, Comacopa in 4th, Raptor KK in 5th, Bongit in 6th, Peak Hour 7th, Abdul 8th, TMM 9th, VPR Chef rounds out your top 10. Natural 11th, GC Adventure 12th, Daboonster 13th, Like Me or Not 14th, Armenian Devil 15th, 15th is LK, Mr. Miller in 17th, IRZ 18th, and SP in 19th. So that is your finishing order. All right, folks, heading on to July 22nd. So next Monday night, we will have a redemption race at Brazil at 9 p.m. Eastern Time next Monday night here on CCRL TV for the Pro Tier. Tune in on Wednesday night under MMR Hotspot. I always get that wrong. MMR Hotspot as at 10 p.m. as they will be taking on Saudi Arabia as well. If MMR is not available, tune into the CCRL TV as I potentially will be jumping into the commentary booth for that Grand Prix. I am the Johnny Damon. It was a pleasure calling the action here at Saudi Arabia. I will see you all either this week or next week. I hope you have a great night and a great rest of your week. Take it easy, fellas.